Dreams aren't something everybody needs to have. Generally speaking, I have a lot of friends who don't have dreams. And I'm not talking about, like, subconscious things that happen when you're asleep. I'm talking about the idea of having goals that are like these unattainable things for some people because they choose to set limitations for themselves and then maybe never go out about getting them. And depending on the day, I'm one of those people. Some days, things just hit me a little hard, and you don't decide to put your all into something. You decide that it's not going to happen, and you give up on dreams. And certain dreams definitely die away as you get older. You start realizing that sometimes you're not going to be the person that the whole world remembers, and perhaps that's okay. Um, those dreams are many times an unacceptable thing because literally we, as a society, eventually will probably be forgotten. Um, at some point or another, Einstein won't be Einstein. He'll just be another person who was in a long wave of people who came to this conclusion. That being said, for me, dreams are something that I truly love, and perhaps sometimes I'm more in love with the idea of dreams than I am with accomplishing them. But this is my current dreams, things I'd love to accomplish, and I feel more and more that these ones are more acceptable. And acceptable is such a terrible word to say, I guess. And if you've been here before, understand that I ramble a little bit, so sorry about that. About the whole just kind of going over things and over and over and over, because that's just kind of a person I am. But dreams are, for me, these goals that I want to leave for me. Things that people can look back and like, Brian Dunn, I don't know who that is, really. And a lot of people never will. But are things, particularly for me, that left them with a smile. And that's like my favorite thing in the world is to make someone smile, and usually through humor. I don't present that so much in these videos because I'm just talking and rambling, as I said, but I enjoy making people laugh. I love it. It's the best feeling in the world when you can just make someone smile, and it's really fucking genuine. And sometimes people are embarrassed to smile or give out like a snort when they laugh or anything like that. That feels great. I legitimately love to do that to people, and it's something that I've loved since I was a little kid, and it's one of those few things that has carried over throughout every part of my life. That was something that I just enjoyed. And then, I over the last few years I've decided that's kind of what I want to do with my life. I want to leave people smiling in such a world that is, debatably terrible depending on who you are as a person, that we always have bad times. And to be able to rack people out of those bad times is, I think, one of the most important things anyone can do for anyone else. I can remember certain instances, literally like one of the worst days of my life was brought up. I literally just was devastated. I'm not going to talk about the whole thing. Maybe I'll bring it up at some point or another. Just because I've had to move on past the event. But I remember going through, and I'll name drop in this, watching Maximilian Dude at the time when he was streaming on Twitch, and it was one of those days where you just don't feel you'll ever smile again. It was awful. I cried a lot. It was just an emotionally draining and physically damaging for longer periods of time than I kind of really gave it thought to. After that event, I gained a lot of weight. I emotionally cut myself off of a lot of things. But I watched Max Dude that night, and I wish I would have taken it more to heart how much things go on past a certain way, and watching him and his friends, and I just laughed, and I was like, I didn't think that I was going to ever have that response. I figured it was just going to be background music while I tried to get some sleep. And no, I stayed up, I laughed, and you come to realize that that's such an important thing to do, is laugh and smile and have a good time and generally be a happy person. And that's rough. That is not an easy thing for a lot of people. A lot of days it's not easy for me to just be a happy person, but there is a certain amount of it you can control yourself. But I'm not going to sit here and say you just choose to be happy. It's not a possibility. Some days circumstances don't allow that. But I would always say try to lean towards being happy, because being miserable in this short little walk of life we have isn't isn't a good use of time. No, it's not worth it to sit there and be angry or be sad or be depressed if you have these options in front of you. Like, I've been a person who has stayed angry or gotten angry because I wanted to get angry about something and let it control me. And that is not a good, healthy way to deal with life. It just isn't. You'll be much happier when you just like, okay, this is what's happened. Do I choose to be happy or choose to let it sour me? And some days you'll let it sour you. It's just what it is. But I see, I've really gone off topic here because I was supposed to be talking about dreams. So, sorry for that, breakneck jump into talking about happiness and how to work through this. And I actually wanted to do a video about working through depression, which for me was a lot of doing things you're not comfortable with and changing up a routine. And it really does help. It really did help me, at least. But and then you'll fall back into that routine at times and you just have to change it up again. It really is the case. But back to dreams, because I keep prattling on. Current dreams are to make people smile. Hopefully through this channel at some point. I want to start releasing a little bit more lighthearted content. I want to release more content. I know I talked about that a little bit in the last video, and then I went through a bad week. Happens. I think establishing a more non-stop schedule will help me with that, where I'll be doing more videos per week. And I'm probably going to be talking about board games. I'm probably going to talk about video games. We're going to talk about movies. I'm probably really going to talk a lot about board games here for a bit, because I have been just on a board game kick and a tabletop kick, and my new dice tray came in from Easy Roller, and it's beautiful. This is not a paid ad. I wish it was, because these people live literally an hour and a half away from me. Please be quiet, Mark. Did not mean to not have my phone set on silent. Whoopsie. But yeah, to do more on here, to help make people smile, just like to cheer them up, to leave them with a good feeling that day, that maybe they needed this, or this is how they started off their day and now they're in good spirits. Stream on Twitch more. Yes. I enjoy streaming on Twitch even when it's not a big amount of people, but it's one of those things where you get off work, you definitely, like, and that's when I eat dinner, and I'm like, it's 11 o'clock at night, I have a bad situation with that. I'm going to work past that situation. I just have to. I have to get over it, and I have to get out of my head that, well, what's the point? Because it's not really how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be you're doing something you enjoy because it's fun. And that is the case. And other than that, I mean, I've been studying in game design a little bit recently because I enjoy games. I very much enjoy games. I enjoy social games. I enjoy single player. I mean, I like games in general are something that I think are this universally accepted thing of enjoyment. And sometimes, people take them very seriously, sometimes they don't. But that's how they enjoy them. But yeah, moving forward, I'm going to be studying more and more game design because I want to write my own D&D modules. I want to, and publish them. I'll probably publish them through RPG drive-through, if I'm allowed. And, maybe work on a video game at some point, or work on my own board game at some point, or a card game. Those are things that have fascinated me since I was a kid. And I really do think about it now, looking back on when I was growing up, that I wanted to make a Zoids card game because I loved Zoids at the time. And I was like, what can I do to do this? I have all these extra Pokemon cards. I guess I'll start writing on them. And I'm like, but how do these rules work? And what, how does the game work? And I'm like 10. You don't do that kind of shit. Like, you don't understand balance in a game at that point. Not at least entirely. And here I sit 20 years later and I'm still trying to figure it out a little bit, but I'm not, it's not positive. I'm trying to think of what the word is. I am hopeful for the future. Either way, I guess this was a video on depression and dreams and how sometimes you don't need them to, you don't need dreams. If your life is to go out there and do the best you can and enjoy life, then that is perfect. But for me, I personally love dreams, and I can't imagine life without them because that is just me as a person. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Should I start doing the like, comment, subscribe, all that horse trash? Nah. No, this is, we're keeping it wholesome. If you like the content, you'll stay. Either way, I've been Brian, and I'll see you guys next time.